Back again with another video for your Saturn in Return Survival Kit series. Last week I shared with you my personal truth story. It was a very intimate and revealing session, and I felt it necessary as Saturn in Return is about confronting your story, and Saturn in Scorpio is very much so about revealing your truths. And I feel that it's necessary for me to be transparent to the audience, especially if I am giving my own personal advice in order to deal with your Saturn return. So I really feel like it's important for me to be honest and for you to understand where it is that my honesty comes from and why it is that I'm so passionate about being honest and about facing your truths. This week I'd really like to discuss feelings of isolation, loneliness, and separateness. The Saturn influence often gives some sort of restriction in being able to feel like you can connect with others. This is because Saturn is definitely an internal processing, and with this Saturn retrograde in Scorpio and Saturn retrograde in general, you are internally processing your feelings and your experience and perspective throughout your everyday, daily lives. Depending on the kind of person that you are, so if you are one who's comfortable already with being on your own and having your own time, then this will be a natural flow for you. However, if you're a very busy person and you're surrounded by a lot of people, or you just always have a lot that's going on, you might still feel very uncomfortable with the fact that even though you're with other people, you might still feel a little separateness from them. This may not always come out on the surface. This might be a more internal processing in which you appear to be very jolly and sociable with others, but there's still something within you that feels that you can't connect all the way, or that maybe others aren't understanding you, or people are not able to see as deeply within as you want to, or even as you're attempting to show. You might feel very lonely, and you might have some issues with being by yourself. And this only is bringing up a chance for you to get more comfortable with being on your own and being individualistic in the way that you perceive your world and your inner processing. So for either person who might feel like they are very comfortable with being on their own, or someone who is not, I would highly recommend to create your own cave. And this might be something that you continue to do even after a Saturn in return transit, but definitely during your Saturn return, I would recommend having a space in your house or in some sort of place where you can be intimate and you can have the things that encourage you or motivate you, or things, influences that help you to go deeper within yourself. So I'd recommend a cave. And this cave is going to give you a chance to cross the line from loneliness to just simply being a little bit separate, and it being okay, and it being welcoming to your spirit and to your body. I personally, through this transit, have been really owning meditation and finding small places and times in my day in which I can slow everything down and meditate. I also have my own little time and cave in which I can do the dirty work, as I like to call it, in which I can go deeper into what is it that made me feel insecure that day, or what is it that didn't work for me and why. So I think it's really important for you to have either time in your day carved out where you can cave in and have your own space, or have a physical place and time where you can process your life and your experience of the day on your own and on your own terms. This is really important because this retrograde and Saturn retrograde and the Pluto retrograde, which Pluto rules over Scorpio, you're feeling a lot of power maybe being misled in different areas, because Pluto is not going forward to give you that push forward to find the power and to own it and for it to just be apparent to you. So you really have to internally find that power, and that's what I believe a Pluto retrograde is. So right now in our current day, we are experiencing Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn retrograde, in which these are generational influences, but it's also personal. And a lot of what you are experiencing will be underneath the surface, in which if you are someone who is very public and who is very social, even the ones around you that love and adore you may not be able to see or understand that you are having this internal processing. I find that it's a fine line between isolation and loneliness, and I encourage you to cross the line from loneliness to just being a little isolated, and owning that and welcoming that into your life as we undergo this retrograde, I believe will be extremely helpful, and also give you a lot of insight into your insecurities, your inner motivations, and what is it that you want to manifest as a master. There's this advice that says don't take things personal, but I really find that you shouldn't. But the things that pop up around you, take it personally inside and try to discover in your cave and in your time of isolation or meditation, why is it that these situations or these little triggers are popping up, and why do they trigger you? I think this is really good to process in your own time and on your own, and embrace this. Embrace the isolation. Remember that you are not alone. There is an entire generation that is going through this with you. But do find your own individual story, and I encourage you to carve out that cave. As time is moving faster, events are moving faster, and we do have a lot of overabundance and a lot of partnership themes this summer, and you will be highly sensationalized to the events around you. But it's important that you Saturn returners embrace your isolation and embrace that alone time. Please share with me if you have any ideas on how you carve out your own isolation time and embrace it. And please share with me if you would like to for me to discuss any other specific topics regarding Saturn in return, specifically to Scorpio. And if my videos are resonating with you, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, as I will be continuously giving advice on a weekly basis for all of our Saturn returners out there. Thank you very much. This is Karina Dean, and I'm signing off.